my dad recently passed away. He actually passed away right before we signed the lease. I see that he had a hand in this a lot because this place kind of found us. It had only been on the market for about 5 days before we swooped it up. Things like this don't just happen for no reason. I think that was something led us here, and I truly believe that this is where we are meant to be.
Was it a dream of yours to always be a business owner, an entrepreneur, or was it just something that just kind of just happened?
I never, ever in a million years thought that I would be a business owner, that be running a team, be like, in a position of leadership. And honestly, it still freaks me out to this day. I feel like I still have not, I tell it to my team all the time, but it's like, I'm still learning.
What's on your playlist? Like, what are you listening to music-wise? Who are some of your go-to artists right now?
Honestly, I'm in a bit of a Gracie Abrams phase. I know there's some, that may be a controversial opinion. She's my favorite Nepo baby currently.
What is up, everybody? We are back again. Like I said, it had been a few minutes since the last episode. We were over visiting another wonderful entrepreneur, business owner, Ashby's Sterling Ice Cream, Dylan Rochon. But once again, kind of like what we did with Ashby's, we are not at the Knot. We are in a very cozy, chill. I honestly, like, if I wasn't recording, I'd probably just be taking a nap right now on this couch. Like, it is really comfortable. But this is a very special episode. Third time's a charm for this individual. This is someone who I have known now since 2021, 2022. They have grown exponentially with their business and their company. They are constantly pushing the bar for themselves and just the industry in general and what they do. They are a true young professional. And this is someone who is just continuing to climb higher and higher and higher. And it's very, very exciting to watch and to see, and really to be a part of the journey with this individual and all that they do. And without further ado, the owner of Part of Your World Princess Company, now in their Slumber Party format and setup, it's Sofia Kirkman. What is going on?
What's up? Happy to be here. Always a pleasure.
Well, always, like I said, this is, third time's a charm, right? Mm-hmm. But we're just going to get right into it. For those who don't know who you are, which I don't know who doesn't at this point, but if you are living under a rock or you just are not familiar with the princess party industry, tell us who you are and what is Part of Your World Princess Company.
Yeah, so we are a professional princess party and event company based here in Grosse Pointe. We opened in 2021 when I was 19, 20. I was a sophomore in college. I was a musical theater major, and this is kind of my way of like bringing what I love into an actual job. And I really wanted to make my mark on this industry, and now we've been in business for it's our 4th year. And we've grown to over 20 performers and cast, and we take great pride in having the best, most effortless, magical princess parties, events, corporate events, all of those things. We just love what we do.
Yeah, I mean what she said. I mean, I have witnessed what she's done. I've witnessed her performers and her cast literally create magic for the kids, and it really is a sight to see. It's very inspiring, and everything that you do is always just magical. Yes, pun intended. It's very magical to watch, and the effect that you have on everyone in what you do, it's just I think it speaks volumes. So I understand that just fairly recently, the part of your old princess company has done a big shift and a move for themselves.
They sure have.
Is this true? And if so, what's going on with this?
The rumors are true. Let me put this to rest. We are moving. We are in the process of renovating a brand new space for the Storybook Boutique, which is so exciting. We are on Fleetwood and Mac in Grosse Pointe Woods. So when people ask me where we are now, I say Fleetwood Mac. LOL. But it's such a beautiful, it's a cute little space. It's going to be so perfect for us. I'm really, really excited. So hopefully we'll be open by this summer, shooting for July, August. But it's going to be such a magical space. There's going to be retail. We're going to have parties just like we did at our old location. We're going to do mini makeovers. It's going to be a beautiful, beautiful thing for the community.
Yeah, and I've had the pleasure of kind of getting the behind the scenes look at what's going on there, and it's I can already envision the vision, if that makes sense.
You see the vision.
I do. I really do. I do. I see you. I see you.
Yeah, of course.
But so how did this all transpire? Like, was it just kind of like a were you seeking this out? Did it find you? How did this wonderful thing happen?
Yeah, honestly, and we'll kind of get into this later in the episode, but my dad recently passed away. He actually passed away right before we signed the lease. So I see I see that he had a hand in this a lot, because this place kind of found us. It had only been on the market for about 5 days before we swooped it up. So it was the perfect, location, fit perfectly in our budget. It was, we have amazing neighbors, so lovely. And I think things like this don't just happen for no reason. I think that was something led us here. And I truly, truly believe that this is where we are meant to be. Just with all of the, incredible things that have happened through this time of grief and through this, devastating loss, I feel that this is sort of my dad's way of saying it's going to be okay. Take this and run with it. You got it. And it's yours. Do what I always thought you could. And honestly, I choose to see my dad in this a lot. Whether or not that's true or not, I hope that it is, but I really think this is his way of looking out for us and leading us to where we need to be.
Yeah, and I know I've said it many a time, but just the passing of your dad is just wow. I remember when you told me, and it was just like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
So again, very, very truly sorry.
Thank
you. I think what you mentioned before, this is his, like you said, this is his way of saying it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
I know, the last space did what it needed to do for you guys, but, I think just in a weird way, like you said, this was his way of saying it's going to be all right.
Mm-hmm.
You're meant to have this. You've
Yeah.
worked really hard for this. I remember you even mentioning too, like, he was practically like scooting you
Yes.
out of his hospital room, be like, go do what you got to do. I'll be here.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I definitely, I will say it does. I do get a sense of there is, Papa Kirkman is there, and I know that there's going to be some form of a tribute or memorial in that space dedicated to him, because he was a very integral part of your company's existence. Like,
yeah.
he was chauffeur, he was everything. Like, can you kind of divulge a little bit just the impact and just his part of your world that and your cast world that he had on like, can you just kind of go into that for a minute and just kind of explain like what he meant to that?
Absolutely. He first of all, he was a finance guy. I went to school for musical theater. We didn't have similar skill sets, But in that way, we kind of fit together like a puzzle piece, because what he didn't know about, you know, what I do about performing, about running a party, he knew what he was good at, which was, you know, setting up your LLC and like making sure that your taxes are correct, and budgeting and all of this stuff. So it's like a lot of people like to say, oh, daddy's money or whatever, and it's like, can't say that about me anymore, my dad's dead, but not yeah. But but you know, he was so like, not even like, you know, he was pushing me to start a company, or he was like, you know, being weird about it. It's like he saw that this was my dream, and he was like, okay, let's, you know, how can I help you? And the way that he helped us a lot of the time was, you know, helping us drive princesses all over town, because my little, you know, 2017 Ford Focus isn't gonna cut it when you got, you know, 6 feet diameter hoop skirts.
Yeah, right.
You know, and making sure that my performers are eating. Like, he'd bring us lunch, he'd bring us coffee, like, you know, he'd use his nice laser printer at work to print our coloring pages when I forgot about them. Like, you know, he was just so integral to everything that was happening behind the scenes, and he would never get in a picture. He would never like take, you know, recognition for what he was doing, but nothing brought him more joy than to see my cast of performers and me like doing what we're good at and what we're meant to do. And that the way that he was able to understand a little bit more about like, oh yeah, you know, maybe the arts do have value, but like, you know, like, he was never that guy of like, oh, you need to go into a certain profession. Like, he let me go to school for musical theater, like, and I would let my child go to school for musical theater, and I went there. So like, I don't know, but he was so encouraging always of me to follow my dreams, to do what I love. He didn't want me to be, you know, miserable at a job that I hate, or, you know, he saw in me the things that are needed to be a business owner, to be to make some waves in this industry. And he felt similarly about the financial industry, because he wanted to change the way that people saw financial advisors or like financial professionals, or, you know, not as someone who is like slimy or is just going to sell you something so that they can make the biggest commission. Like, now that he has passed, I see that we were so similar, even though our industries couldn't have been more different. But he also had a desire to change the industry for the better. And if you know, watch my last episode with Walter, I kind of went in on the things about the industry that I really, really hate, that I really don't think should be happening. And that is something that he saw in his industry too, where he was like, I love this. I want to do this for a living, but I can't fucking stand half these people. Like, you know, just the things that this industry was built on kind of suck. So that is something that I didn't really put 2 and 2 together on until, you know, he passed, that it's like, we really were more similar than we were different. But he always quietly supported from behind the scenes, so much so that we've had corporate clients of ours like reach out and, you know, say how sorry they were, because he just loved to be there, and people saw, even our clients saw how involved he was. And it's been difficult without him, but he was always so ready to take care of everybody. And he loved our clients and my performers and everyone, because they were an extension of me and my business. And he showed that, you know, acts of service kind of guy, love to everyone who was involved in my company. And that's something that I'm going to miss, but also a legacy that I hope to carry on, honestly.
You know, I couldn't agree more. And I think, you know, it's interesting to me, and I think to people listening as well, that the backgrounds that you had couldn't, like you said, couldn't have been more different.
Yeah.
and opposite. However, that mentality that the two of you had and have is, we want to do better. We want to be better. We don't want to be like everybody else, because I've connected with other financial professionals, and I mean, I've seen really solid, individuals, and I've also ran across some really shitty ones. Yeah. And so I think
and honestly, in the aftermath of his passing, we have too. Now my eyes have been opened about how shady and how shitty this industry can be. So that's all I'll say about that. But yeah, continue.
Yeah, I mean, well, and yeah, it's just it's amazing how, like I said, the fact that you were so polar opposite in careers and professional paths, but you were so together and united on the front of, there is some dark sides to both of what we do, and we both want to be able to be that beacon of hope for others getting into what we do.
Yeah.
And not falling victim or prey to some of the dark forces that be in these industries. And I do remember, so to go off of what you were saying about how he was like just very like involved. So setting up your LLC, that's really important. Like if anything else you get from this episode, please, for the love of God, if you are starting, yes, if you are starting your own business, make sure you are filed under a limited liable corporation or an LLC. Mm-hmm. That is going to save you so much time. It is, and if something were to happen, then only your LLC gets affected, nothing else. So
they're not going to take your house. Yeah,
that's right. That's all I'm going to say about that. We'll go into that into another episode. But so him starting your LLC for you, him setting up and tearing down. I do remember.
Well, I will say he didn't start my LLC for me. My name has always been on the business, which I take great pride in. That it's not. This isn't my daddy's company. Like he's
right.
But, he got me in contact with the lawyer, and,
Yes.
I presented my business plan and everything. So, but he had those professional connections that as a 19-year-old I didn't have. Right. Which that guy did not take me seriously at all. But that's also a story for another day. But, my dad was he was like, I'll help you, but you got to do it. Like, we're putting your name on this. So
yeah. He gave you the tools.
He gave me the tools. Yes.
Right. So giving you those tools to start and to create your company. Yeah. And then I do remember one time, I think we connected and we saw each. Well, yeah, because I was going to the park, GP Park, and they were doing. I think it was one of their social district things. Yeah. And you guys were there. And I remember, I think I got there like an hour and a half before it closed. Yeah. Shut down. I went with my one best friend. Shout out Kyle.
Love Kyle.
And I remember, like, as it was starting to wind down, like he just kind of popped up out of nowhere, and we said hello.
He's like, I got the car.
Yep.
Ready when you are.
And he just started, just helping and I was just like, that's some good support right there, because not many family members are willing to, take, because everyone's got their own thing that they're doing, right? But for him to take time out of his evening and night to help you,
because mind you, it's like 10 o'clock. It's like this went really late, so it's like any other person would be like, oh fuck it, I'm going to bed. My dad was like, no, my daughter's out there, like, what the hell. So yeah, he was so selfless and so, like, if anybody needed literally anything, doesn't matter what it is, he would get it for you. If it was in his ability to help you, he's going to help you. And that's the kind of legacy that I want to leave.
And I definitely think you are, and you will continue to do that, with everything that you're doing. And like I said, I've seen how you and your team interacts with each other. Like, it's such a united front, and it's really cool to see. So be proud of what everything that you've accomplished and that you are still have yet to accomplish. So
thank you. Yeah.
So it is Marketing Minds Meet, so we do have to talk a little bit of marketing. So now that you have this space, right, and it's coming into fruition, it's being restored and built upon. I've noticed I just saw you have a brand new decal on the door, which looks really sharp and spiffy. What are some ways that you're looking to kind of push and make it known that, hey, we're here now? Are you still utilizing your social media presence, website, email? Like how is the Storybook Boutique now going to be pushed out there for people to hear about and really market itself?
Yeah, so we definitely are going to keep using our social media. I actually made a separate Instagram and Facebook page for the Storybook Boutique, which has been confusing to some people, but I think the distinction is important. But honestly, the location that we're at has a ton of foot traffic and a ton of local. I literally live 2 blocks away. Not to dox myself, but I'm literally I could walk there. And it's the best, but so can several other families in Grosse Pointe Woods. So we have had, even before our signage was up, we had people, kind of come peek their head in and be like, what's going on in here? What's coming in? Because people are invested in their community. They're excited to see what's coming next. And even more so when we had our posters up, I would kind of watch the cars pass by and people would be leaning out their window to come read our signs and stuff. And, it's kind of funny, but it's we really are in such a tight-knit community that if a new business goes up, people are going to be curious and they're going to want to know what's going on. They're going to want to visit. They're going to want to stop by. So I'm really excited for just that, local word of mouth marketing. But we are going to be kind of not revamping, but, starting back up our Storybook Boutique Instagram and Facebook page. I would love to, focus more on the retail side. I would love to do more video content, all of that stuff to kind of hopefully push us out a little bit because, we do beautiful photography. Not to toot my own horn, but we have beautiful photography. I usually do it, or my manager usually does it. So, that's one thing that's lovely. But I would love to get more videos of how immersive and how beautiful these experiences are, in ways that it's photos sometimes can't capture. So yeah,
I gotta say, the media that you do, the photography, it is pretty sharp.
Thank you.
And I believe
been doing this for a while. I'd like to think that we can capture the moments of a birthday party pretty well.
yeah, that you do.
Yeah.
And so you mentioned retail. What is that? What does the retail entail?
Yeah.
What does that look like for the Storybook Boutique?
So if you've ever been to Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique in Disney World or Disneyland, whatever, they do they have fairy godmothers in training. So we have our fairy godmothers in training that do mini makeovers and stuff, but we actually work with a brand called Little Adventures. They're so incredible. They're machine washable little dress costumes, and we just adore their selection, and so do our clients. So we're hoping to expand into a little bit more boutique, sort of for ages 0 to 5, retail and accessories and tiaras, and every little girl's dream is going to be this boutique. So we're very excited.
God, that's yeah, you're doing it.
Yeah.
You're doing it.
We're trying.
Like that's, I mean, that's the dream, right?
Yeah.
Like
It was my dream. Honestly, it's my dream.
Oh well, speaking of dreams, this is a new prompt that I've come up with. We can. Oh, I'll give a shout out to the Dr. Phil Adam Ray figure for this one, but it's in a comedy text it works very well, but also in a serious text
Sure.
it works just as well.
Hit me with it. Let's do it.
So running your business, being a business owner, was that always part of the in the card deck for in the life card deck, I should say, for Sophia, or did it just kind of happen? Like, was it a dream of yours to always be a business owner, an entrepreneur, or was it just something that just kind of just happened?
Yeah, I would say no. Coming from someone who grew up as a wallflower, as you know, I'm still very introverted. I consider myself kind of socially awkward. I never, ever, ever in a million years thought that I would be a business owner, that be running a team, be like, you know, in a position of leadership. And honestly, it still freaks me out to this day. I feel like I still have not, you know, I tell it to my team all the time, but it's like, I'm still learning. Like, you know, anyone who says that they know it all is fucking lying. But I think that it's something that I've grown into, and it's something that I really enjoy. And I think actually is, you know, has been something that does like mesh well with my skill set, because I do have a passion for this. I love talking about stuff that I'm passionate about. I had a very specific vision of how I want my company to look, or like how I wanted this job to be done, what I wanted when, you know, I was doing this job, not under the banner of my company. Like, honestly, for me to have like the gumption to like start my own company was very unexpected, but I'm so glad that I, you know, kind of threw caution to the wind and said, why not? Why not me? Like, let's just do it. And if it fails, it fails. But here we are almost, you know, half a decade later, and, you know, we're thriving. We have, you know, a wonderful team of performers. Like, almost every single one of our initial performers are still with the company, which is, so our retention rate is stellar, but I think there's a reason for that, because not only do we love this job, but I want to make sure that we're not just doing this because, you know, I'll put up with certain things because this job is so good. It's like, no, I'm going to send you with a character attendant. Like, I'm going to make sure that you have something to eat in between gigs. Like, you know, that should be standard, that you're taken care of in that way. So I don't want people to say, you know, oh, I do this job in spite of, oh, I have to drive in a hoop skirt. Oh, I have to, you know, collect money from the mom. I have to, like, do all the things that are not part of your job description. So that's a huge driving force for, like, why I started the company. And I think if I didn't have such a strong, like, I need to change this sort of mindset, I would have, you know, gone to work for someone else. And certain circumstances, I don't know if you can tell, but I'm a size 16, so I'm plus size. Certain things physically stopped me from working for someone else, because nobody in the state of Michigan has plus size performers. Even if they look dang good in their costume and are really good at their job, like, in fact, it was the opposite. You know, people were having eating disorders and weekly weigh-ins and all this stuff, and it's like, God, this sucks. So even if I wanted to, I didn't have any other option than to do it myself. So I kind of forced myself into this role, but I'm really, really glad that I did. So, yeah.
It's really interesting. And again, I think it kind of ties in with some of the dark aspects of your industry. I know when we touched on it when she was on the show the last time. What was it, a couple of years ago already?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
But it's seeing just how dark and ugly it could be for some people, and how it can really just not even physically but even mentally be wearing and draining for a performer who sometimes they're not even at the drinking age yet. That's
wild.
So for you to be able to come in and be like, all right, no, I'm done with this shit, like we're gonna change some things for the better and be really truly an inclusive company where, like mentioned before, others aren't like that. And I think that's that brings down the mood, and that's part of the villain arc of of the princess. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But so speaking of villains and dark, we're gonna get into a little bit of some dark side, because
hell yeah.
even though they're in a state of turmoil right now, I am still a Star Wars fan. Through thick and thin, that's just what we do.
Yeah.
Is it? Am I a glutton for punishment? I don't know, but here we go.
Here we are.
So, first dark side question I have for you. And this is a new one.
Okay.
So, no devil questions here, because
Sure.
she's already been there, done that.
The answer is no.
All right. Part of your Royal Princess company all of a sudden has to file for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, and your company is no longer in existence. Sofia Kirkman now has to reevaluate, rethink the strategy on what to do. So, major if, if part of your Royal Princess company were to go under and cease to exist, what's the next plan of action? Is there a plan B that you've put into your mind already? Is there a backup, or in tech terms, do you have an external hard drive that you have stored with some data that you can fall back on? What's the fallback if part of your Royal Princess company fell through?
For me, I went to school for musical theater. I have dreams of being in the Big Apple, of going to New York and pursuing my Broadway dreams. And I think, I hate to say it, but my company does tether me here, for better or for worse. I love it. I really do. But it is physically stopping me from going to New York, pursuing my dreams, auditioning like crazy, like really putting myself out there. I think if part of your world, if something were to happen, knock on wood,
Gotcha.
I would take it as a sign that it's time to follow my other dreams, because this very much is my dream. I love this company. I love what we do, and I love our mission and my cast and everything. But I do also know that at some point I need to step away, because maybe not fully step away, but like I need to relocate myself and leave it in the capable hands of my manager, my admin team, my performers, because I don't want to give up on that dream. Getting pulled from an open call for Broadway was like an unexpected, but it was a wake-up call that like, I can do this, and I need to put myself out there more, and I need to be, going after agents and doing things that will help further my personal brand too. So I think I would take it as a redirection from, the universe or whatever, that it's time. It's time to focus on what drew me sort of in the first place, was being a musical theater actress. Like if I hadn't played Ariel in high school, I never would have, had the idea to start this company in the first place. That's why we're named after Part of Your Royal Princess Co. is, it's for the mermaid that started it all. Like that's where I started. This has been a wonderful, beautiful redirection on the path of my musical theater career and my theater career in general. But I think if something were to happen, and I'm kind of waiting for this, like, not sign, but like I'm waiting to be directed that, it's time to focus on me. It's time to go after those dreams. Like, you got to do it. So I don't know, that might be what I would say.
Ooh.
Yeah.
All right. So one dream for another, huh?
Yeah.
So, okay, let's play another,
Sure.
Not a dark side, but just another what if.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that you did an audition, what was it, last year, the year before?
Last year, yeah.
And on Broadway, like for legit Broadway. This
Yeah.
wasn't like sorry, not to throw,
No,
I'm going to throw shade here. It's not like
Sure.
it's some like local
Community
theater thing,
no,
where you
this
have
is the
to
big leagues,
pay
yeah.
to play.
This was Telsey casting. Like,
Yeah.
this was Bernard Telsey. Yeah. Who told me I have a beautiful voice. Like this, that goes to your head a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, so again, this is not child's play. This is not a hobbyist thing, people.
This
all
is
right?
a job.
This is a job.
I got a 1099 last year. Like, come on now. Yeah.
So again, this is...
I pay my taxes. Yeah. Yeah.
This is big league stuff.
Yeah.
This is big league shit, all right? So again, throw shade, not throw shade. I don't care. It's my show.
Yeah.
So you get an unexpected call from Broadway, and they say, Sophia, we would love for you to be a part of this cast for, or let's just say it's...
Rhymes with schmicked.
Oh, yeah. Something about witches and...
Something about pink goes good with green or whatever. Yeah.
So let's say you get a call from the Wicked production team, and they say, Sophia, we would love for you to be part of the cast of Wicked, whether that's, singing, backups, or whether it's whatever the case may be. But you're seeing an exponential boom and growth in your company. What the fuck do you do?
This actually is something that I've thought about. As soon as that moment came, I did think about it, because it was for, Broadway and for the national tour. And I was like, can I really go gallivanting across the country, in this, if this call comes, like, what am I going to do? And I think at that time last year, I wasn't ready. I was like, you know what? I can't do that. There's no way. I don't think we're in a place for that. But I think I've been slowly, and, with my grief, I have been stepping away quite a bit. I'm still doing, behind the scenes. I'm still answering phone calls and emails. You'll still get to me, but I've not physically been at a party in like 2 months, because nobody wants a grieving introvert to host their party. Are you kidding me? But honestly, honest to God, if I got that call, which is like my dream, my dream of all dreams, I would go. I would make it work. I have an incredibly capable team, an admin team, incredibly capable performers. Technically, I could do my admin work from anywhere. I would go. I would say yes in a heartbeat.
Not to say that I am surprised. I actually am not.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those things where I'm gonna quote one of my other best friend who lives in Hotlanta. Shout out Tom. Right before he moved from Michigan, this was probably in the early 2010s era. He got a job. I think he got an offer for Wisconsin. That was his first like out of state thing.
Yeah.
And I remember we were talking on the phone for a while about it. And one of the things that still remains embedded in my psyche, and really just way of living life. You know, he said, I never want to go through life asking what if.
Yeah.
So if he didn't take, you know, the gig in Wisconsin, the job in Wisconsin, he's like, I don't want to ask myself, well, what if I had gone? What would have happened? And then you get this domino effect of what ifs. And he's like, I never want to ask. I want to have as few what ifs in my life. And I think in this case, because this is big league shit, okay? This is like the major leagues. This is professional, truly professional. Like, this is the shit you see like in New York, Chicago, like those types of that's the kind of league where we're talking. I think, and I know for me personally and professionally, I would miss the shit out of you, but I would also say, you know, if you don't fucking go, like I will
put you on that damn plane myself.
Yeah, I will put you in my car and I will drive you to Broadway.
Yeah.
Because that's an opportunity. That's like if by just whatever, you know, whatever it may be, you know, if I were to get like a call and be like, hey, like, we want you to tour with this big rock name or this big act, and you know, you be the lead guitar player, like, of course I'm gonna fucking do it, you know. or like someone sees me perform like at one of these local places and they're like, we really like you, like, you want to be an opening act for it's like, why, like, how could I not, you know? And it's like, so again, I think it's this, you know, I guess the moral of the story is have as few what ifs in your life. And I think in this case, this would be, if, you know, I think you would be completely remiss to pass it up. Like, you just, you'd have to do it. And I think and I know you have a team that believes so strongly in you, that, and what, not even just you, but in the company, in the business itself, that, you know, they're not going to let it go by the wayside. Like they know what they're doing. Like, shout out Teresa, you know what you're doing. Literally. So it's like, that would be fine, and you would just, you know, you're still very young, and you have a lot of life to live. Like, and I think in this case, that would be an opportunity that, like I said,
you can't pass it up.
You can't. You really can't, you know? Like, you just, fuck no.
And honestly, I did actually have this conversation with my manager, Teresa, a couple of years ago, because this has been on the table for a long time. And she said, you know, she spent quite a bit of time in New York too when she was my age, and she was like, just go. You know, this will be here when you get back. We'll be here when you get back. Do it now. Do it while you're young. Do it while you have the gumption and the, you know, the go-getter attitude. Do it. And this will be here when you get back, you know. And I think, honestly, I'm building up to, like, letting this company run without me. And I hope that one day I get there and I don't feel, like, nervous about not, you know, being there or not prepping everything or whatever. But honestly, I do believe that one day we will get there, and that I will, you know, go chase my dreams at some point. And I love princessing. I love my company, and I love all the things that we're able to do. But again, it would be that what if, that major what if I didn't at least try. So I don't know. We'll see.
I hear you. And I mean, Teresa is absolutely correct. Like, if you have the opportunity, go. Do it while you're young. Do it while you still have the opportunity to do so. You know, you're in a very, very fortunate, lucky, you know, position where, yes, if you go, you know, the business wouldn't go by the wayside. Like, you have Teresa, you have Jackie, you have your team that's there to keep the horse and buggy going, so to speak, to keep the gears going, to keep the lights on.
Yeah.
And and they've seen just how hard you've worked for it, how hard they have worked as well. So I think, for everyone's sake, they wouldn't let it go by the wayside. So I think you would go. You absolutely would go. And like I said, if you didn't, I would take you in my car and I would drive you myself.
Yep. Yep. You're getting there one way or another.
That's right. You don't have a choice.
You don't have a choice. Yeah.
So okay. I think that's a good dark question in and of itself. I mean, we don't have to have a multitude of them. I mean, you have to have that one. So I mean, great answer. I love playing those scenarios.
I do too.
Because
you learn a lot about people.
Yeah, you really do. I do remember. I think you probably know too. When I did ask that question to another guest in the past, like, they're just like, I wouldn't give up on this. It's like, that's not what I was asking. That's not what I asked.
You have to give up on it.
You have to. And it's like, well, then I guess I just start all over. It's like, okay, cool. Fine, but, All right.
Sipping the tea.
That's right. Okay, so you heard it here first. If Broadway were to call, she's going.
I would answer that call.
She would answer that call, and
would not let it go to voicemail for even 1 second. I'm so sorry.
I know. And if the business were to go under, then she'd just go after the other dream. The Broadway acting dream. And then that's, like I said, you have the means to do it right now. Do it. Okay, so that was great. So that concludes our dark side portion for this show. So
there we go.
We did it, Reddit.
We did it. We did it, Joe.
Okay, so back to some light side stuff. While we got a few minutes here. So this is a new. I know. For those that maybe are not aware. I know you've answered this before, but maybe things have changed, or or people are just tuning in for the first time, they don't know. But when Sofia is not being the boss that she is and running part of your Road Princess company like a true G, what does Sofia enjoy doing in her downtime? What are some of your favorite hobbies and activities?
Yeah, so I have a couple more now that you've asked me this, like 2 years later.
Okay, all right.
And it kind of, I'm a bit of a workaholic, so I really didn't have a good answer, because at that time I was like, work is my life. Like, I was working from the moment I woke up scrolling on the business Instagram to the moment I went to bed thinking about the email that I have to send tomorrow morning. Like, it was insane. But my brother and my sister-in-law actually got me a Nintendo Switch for Christmas about 2 years ago.
Yeah, that's right.
Which I've been talking about getting for so long, but they know I would never spend money on things that aren't, that seem frivolous, that it's like, oh, this is going to distract me from my work. This is, this isn't about, my career. This isn't voice lessons or whatever. But honest to God, it has been so life-changing. Like, being able to actually do something that is not productive at all, that has nothing to do with my work, that has nothing to do with, acting. Like, as people are like, oh, my hobby is singing. It's like, my job is singing. But I just say that it's my hobby because I don't have any other fucking hobbies. So it's like, I can't. I know we love to sing. I know you love musical theater. That's your fucking job. So I actually have been getting lost in some video games again, because if you could see, we're in my studio / my bedroom right now, because there are anime and video game posters on every surface in this room. That's what I loved when I was a kid and I didn't have any responsibilities. So now I need to like microdose not having responsibilities. So I've actually been like 5 years late. I've been getting into Fire Emblem Three Houses because I was such a Fire Emblem fan when Fire Emblem Awakening came out in like 2013. Is literally my life. I love it so much. I love the Ace Attorney series. I think that was like my childhood comfort. I love it so much. But I've been getting into Three Houses. I'm about to start Fire Emblem Engage, which is the next game in the series. But I also did some Animal Crossing because that was my, you know, cozy gaming. I love that. But it's, you know, it's been hard to find hobbies that I'm like, I don't feel guilty indulging in. But I would say that's one of them. That's been a development, is like, I just love a JRPG, you know? I really do.
Oh my god, yeah. I remember when you told me about the Switch and all that, and that's so yeah, my brother has a Switch, and you know, he played a lot of Minecraft on it. He loves Kirby.
Yeah.
And it's what's interesting too, because you mentioned too anime and all that, like, so a little history here. In my day, you kept that shit to yourself.
Yes.
Like you
no,
did
and even,
not.
especially when I was in like middle school or like even high school, which is why I feel like I'm having a resurgence now, is because I just don't give a shit. Like in high school, I gave a shit because I was like, I don't want to be fucking bullied like I was in middle school. So we're gonna keep that shit. We're gonna push that shit down. Which is why we gotta suppress that shit real quick. But, you know, as I get older and like as I, you know, I'm employed, I have a job, I have my own company, like, I don't care, you know, like this is what makes me feel better. Like, you know, watching people just stream video games, I feel like it helps, you know, it's fun.
Yeah.
Sue me.
Have you
Yeah.
Have you ever, did you ever go, like, not as a streamer yourself, but like, do you ever just go on Twitch and like watch?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
All the time.
Perfect.
Like, you know, and honestly, I have YouTube Premium because I
Same
love
Z's.
it so much. Yeah. I was like, that is the one thing that I'm not giving up, no matter how fucking expensive it gets, which it is getting steadily more expensive. But you know, I love watching like people stream, you know, Ace Attorney or whatever, because it's like, I love to see people, especially who haven't played the series before. I think it's so interesting, like with all the twists and turns, like what they think, and I just, you know, I have this is such a nostalgia thing that I'm like, I just love it. So yeah, it's that's been my like wind down time, is like, I need to indulge in these like things that I loved when I was 13.
Yeah, and again, to kind of tie it all together, yeah, it's amazing what just the 180 that anime and all that has become. Because like I said, so I was born in 1989, so I'm an 80s baby, 90s child. So again, growing up, especially in my time, like, if you like that stuff, like, again, you kept it to yourself, or else you would be shoved in a locker. You'd be called all kinds of fun 90s words.
Yeah. The 90s words.
And you know, and now, because of it, really yours and my brother's generation, the Gen Z, you kind of brought that to the surface of, hey, this is actually pretty cool shit, which good for you. I'm happy. I'm proud of that. Like,
proud to retire the 90s words. Yeah.
Well, some not so much.
Happy for the youth, at least, that they don't.
Exactly. But yeah, and you know what? Since you're into video gaming and all that now and streaming, like, because it's I think it's been we haven't seen each other in a couple weeks, but I just recently got a because this was again my time growing up. I got a PlayStation 2 Slim.
Nice.
And yeah, it was like it's just a little over $80.
Okay.
Nothing crazy.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, so once upon a time, folks, there was a time where when you bought a video game system, You didn't have to connect to the internet.
Yeah.
You didn't have to worry about software updates.
Mhm.
You didn't have to worry about games being patchy and buggy.
Yeah.
Like, there was a time where when you got the
There was a
system.
time. There was a time when men were kind. Sorry, you just said that, and I was like, the musical theater me jumped out. I am so sorry.
No, don't be sorry.
Then it all went wrong. I was like, oh my god, why?
Cuts through so
Sorry.
nice on here. Oh, it's gonna be so much fun to edit.
I'm in my Les Mis phase. I apologize.
Do not apologize.
Yeah.
But you know, and again, and I love my PlayStation 5, I do, but there is just something so wholesome and rewarding about turning on a video game system and not having to worry about, you know, again, software updates, Wi-Fi
Yeah,
connecting.
yeah.
You just put the game in
When
and
games
you
didn't
play.
cost $90 just for the game itself, and then they have the audacity to ask you to buy DLC. Yeah. Crazy.
Yes, this is a struggle. Honestly, that was a big reason why I retired for so long from playing video games, was because of that. Just because of that. And then just the way that they were being structured. Because, like, when I got out of it for a while, again, when I retired, before I came out of retirement in 2021, you know, a part of it, too, was the whole online experience, you know, so, like, that wasn't me. Like, I'm a one player campaign kind of a guy, you know. So, like, just give me a good storyline, and let's just blow some shit up, you know, and let's, you know, shoot some monsters and bad guys and what have you, and that be that. And so, again, to tie it all together, I would say for you, because you're a Nintendo person. My brother has one. We actually just took it up to our camper. Shout out, we just got a new camper. Yeah, that's right. But we see where we're going with this. His Nintendo Wii got taken up there, and again, it's just one of those.
That's like the OG for me.
Yeah. Do you have a?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
No, we have a Wii. We have a Wii U that nobody bought. We bought one. We had a GameCube.
Oh, you did.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Yep. We had them all.
I'll tell you what though, like, if you go to like Disc Replay, or you go to like any of these, like, or Media Reload, which is up like more up north in like Shelby Township area, you can find a plethora of those old school games for like, they're not that expensive. Now, unfortunately for me, and like my taste in video games, the ones I really like or really wanted to get back into, like, those cost like at the very least like $40 to $50 because they're like either just they're hard to find or, you know, they just were out. They're completely. I mean, all the PlayStation games are out of print, but these ones went out of print like sooner or taken off the market sooner. So like one of the games that I really want to get, but it's so expensive. It's also one of my favorite movies of all time. It's the Scarface, The World Is Yours. Yeah. And basically, it's basically kind of like a... So this is like during the height of like the Grand Theft Auto, so like Grand Theft Auto Vice City and all that. It actually came out, I think, like a year or two like after Vice City, but it's its own thing. But the pricing of that game on eBay is absolutely fucking ridiculous. Like, you are going to spend at the very least like as much, if not more, than like a brand new video game for today. Yeah. And I have accepted this.
People are like, I know what I got.
Yeah, I know.
You're gonna pay those big bucks.
I know. And then there are some games where it's like, you look at them and you're like, that's worth that much. Like, did you ever have a Nintendo DS or anything?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Did you ever play any of the Pokemon games?
I was not a Pokemon girl.
Okay, because I was gonna say
I tried to be.
Okay, well, see, there's only one era of Pokemon, and that's Gen 1, okay?
Sure.
Well, actually, Gen 1 and Gen 2 are good. But if you had Pokemon Black and White, like now, because like I see them at video game stores now, like in the glass case, so you know it's legit. Yeah. Like, those go for like between like 80 to like upwards to like $150, $200 even if it's like sealed. Like,
Crazy.
what are we doing here,
Yeah.
folks? So I guess what I'm trying to say,
I better dust off my collection, bro.
I was gonna say, like you might be sitting on a gold mine.
something.
I'm
Yeah.
serious.
Yeah.
So I guess the moral of the story is, get into some retro gaming.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. Takes you back into a simpler time in life.
Times, yeah.
But more specifically, if you do have any of those games, like just like with vinyl, right?
Mm-hmm.
You might be sitting on a gold mine because
there's some nerd out there who really wants what you got. So, think about it.
Yes, and that would be me.
That would be me. Yeah, it's me.
I'm the
It's
problem.
like, that TikTok sound where it's like, if you put insert thing here at the bottom of a wishing well and it was dark outside and you put a flashlight down that wishing well, I would be there. It's like me with like any Fire Emblem game. It's like I would be in there.
Oh my God,
I would be in that well.
Yes.
You can lure me into so many situations with a fucking clean DS copy of like Ace Attorney. Anything. Yeah.
Well, yes. Oh my God, I could go on for hours about that shit. A couple more light side. Well, actually, one more light side question. So this is a new one we put in here. What's on your playlist? Like, what are you listening to?
That's a good question.
Music wise, who are some of your go to artists right now?
Honestly, I'm in a bit of a Gracie Abrams phase. I know there's some that may be a controversial opinion. She's my favorite nepo baby currently. But I also I've been listening to a lot of Sabrina Carpenter. I love her new album. The deluxe just came out.
Yep.
I've been it's been Gracie Abrams, Noah Kahan. I don't know how to say it, but I've been listening to him, Hosier, a lot. It's been kind of like a mellow playlist because I'll get into Brat Summer eventually.
Oh yeah.
But for now, it was like, it's the perfect, like, just chill, mellow, we're not raging, but it's a little something in the background. Like, that's kind of my vibe right now.
All right, I like that. A little bit of mix of
everything. Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta say that short and sweet Sabrina Carpenter is
so good.
It is freaking-tastic.
Yeah.
I actually just bought the deluxe edition on CD.
Yeah, I have my CDs over there too.
Oh, very good, very good.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna have to take a look at that after.
Gracie Abrams and my Sabrina Carpenter. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Both of my girlies.
Yeah, we have to. We'll take a look at those CDs after we're done recording here. But the short and sweet's very good. So yeah, she's just been
blowing up.
Blowing the frick up. Great. Well, I am thrilled to hear about those artists. It's a very that's an interesting, in a good way, list that you got there. So, final thing I have here before we log off. Party World Princess Company Storybook Boutique. How can people, if they're looking to book an event with you guys or have you go to their residence, how can people search and find Part of Your World, Princess Company, and the Storybook Boutique? Do you have a website, social media, phone, email? Now is the time to plug all of the things.
Absolutely. So if you want to book a party, please reach out to us on our website. It's just Part of Your World Princess Co. Part of Your World like the song. And then from our website, you can find our Instagram. From our Instagram, you can find, Storybook Boutique, our Facebook page. We'll link it all in the description below. But and if you want to reach me personally, my email is Sofia, SOFIA, at partofyourworldprincessco.com. But summer is coming up. It's our busy season. So if you want a certain ice queen, a certain frozen sister, make sure to reach out as soon as possible. But we'd love to make your event magical.
All right. Excellent. Yeah, you heard her. Yeah. So just book your event. Don't wait. Don't hesitate.
Yeah.
Book now. Well, this has been, I don't know about you. I had a blast. Oh, and I also forgot to give a shout out. You have a new podcast out.
I sure do.
So let's briefly just give a synopsis of that. Maybe we can do another episode 4
in collaboration.
of talking about just your new podcast. So tell people about this new endeavor that you have started, and I don't know who's producing it.
Yeah, well, I don't know, the producer, he seems like an okay kind of guy, I guess. He's Walter is producing my brand new podcast called The Slumber Party, where basically it's like a girl talk, cozy, very real, very raw sort of podcast. We have some amazing guests lined up. I'm really excited. Our first episode is live on Spotify and on YouTube. We also have an Instagram if you want to follow to see all my little aesthetic mood board posts and stuff. But it's my little brainchild that I've been thinking about starting for a long time. Walter kind of convinced me after a while. I've been on several podcasts, and I was like, you know what? I really think sort of similar to like how I am with the princessing industry. I feel like I have something to say. Like there needs to be this like, what's it called? It's like a girl's girl sort of podcast. So I really wanted to make a space, my little cozy corner of the internet where I can talk about, all of those things. So check it out. Episode 2 is coming very soon. We touch on a lot of grief. But we also did some Reddit stories, some Am I the Asshole stories, so it's not all sad. We did cry a little bit, but you're gonna love it. So check it out.
Yeah, I was so geeked when you approached me about starting it, and not just because of just producing and all that, just because I feel like it's a good, it's the unofficial therapy session,
yes,
as I call it.
Yeah.
And yeah, the things that are discussed on that program, it gets real.
Yeah.
As it should, much like on here, we get real too. But I'm very excited and thrilled to see this unfold and transpire. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, and that's where we're actually here at the Slumber Party studio setup. And it's very cozy. It's very comfortable. Like I said, I could just like fall asleep on this couch. But okay, well, Sophia, this has been, I've had a blast. This is always like I could chat with you for forever.
Hell yeah.
But no, thank you so much for being here today, and and continuing to carry the legacy that is your father. I know he's very proud of you. He's looking at you from afar, and so many great things to happen for you. Will continue to happen for you. I know it. And with that being said, that's going to conclude this episode of Marketing Minds Meet. Again, I'm your host, Walter Hooper, owner of W.A. Hooper Marketing, soon to be a new rebranded thing, but stay tuned for that. We've been working on this. It's just projects, and life has just been lifing and projecting.
Yep.
So that's where we're at, but stay tuned. But thank you so much for tuning in, and if you haven't done so already, please like and subscribe to our channel. We got all kinds of content here for you to explore, to look at, watch, listen to, whether you're at home, you're watching on your TV, or if you're at work, at the office, and you're just looking for some background noise to keep you preoccupied while you're getting your projects done. Hey, that's what we're here for. So once again, and you can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all the mediums pretty much. So so with that being said, that's going to conclude this episode of Marketing Minds Meet, and we will see you next time.